us breaking all the rules. Started out from VA and now we on the move. From local to global, cause we got something to prove. We came from the bottom, now we at the tippy top. To hold it down for our people, cause we all we got. This a cold, cold world, but we keeping it hot. With our teacher on the line, ain't no time to stop. All work over here, still we having fun. Yeah, we say it like it is, ain't no holding our tongue. Go get us on the team, yeah, we getting it done. And shout out to Travell, yo, you number one. It started with a dream that turned into a vision. Now educated new generations is our mission. Ears to the streets, yeah, we steady politicking. If it ain't about to change, mind your business.
Now wait again, minute, wave your hands with it. Wait again, minute, wave your hands with it. Now wait again, minute, wave your hands with it. We top picks like we all up on the gram with it. Now wait again, minute, wave your hands with it. Now wait again, minute, wave your hands with it. Now wait again, minute, wave your hands with it. We top picks like we all up on the gram with it.
August the 18th, 2022. This is season 6, episode 205. And y'all, I'm behind the scene tonight because your girl is tired and busted. 2 more days to my birthday party. Yes, but it's not about me tonight.
Right. Absolutely
Tonight it's
not.
about our guest, Mr. Joe Pro himself. So, Gam, what are we talking about?
What up?
Well, basically, we're going to find out who Mr. DJ Joe Pro is. You know, I'm not going to get my stories yet, but so I actually want to learn a lot from him myself tonight.
Okay.
So with that being said, I want to thank you for accepting our invitation to coming on with a Gam Minute.
I appreciate y'all having me.
No problem.
Pleasure
So
to be here.
how was your weekend?
It was great. It was great.
Okay.
I didn't really do a lot this weekend. This weekend was kind of laid back. I was busy, real busy the weekend before, so I just chilled out.
Okay, ain't nothing wrong with that. So with that being said, and while I still have the camera on you, can you please introduce yourself to our viewers and listeners? Because a lot of people may know you or know of you, but with that being said, we still need you to introduce yourself.
All right. I'm DJ Joe Pro, professional DJ, and if you want to call mixtape video artist and mixtape CD artist, basically that's what I'm known for. I'm known for DJing, doing mix CDs, and I also do mixtape videos featuring exotic dancers and the hottest porn stars in the industry.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Get it.
I don't even know what to say. Like I don't.
No, you say get it, Gam. That's what you say. Get it.
Not get it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So Joe, tell us a little bit about like how you actually got into it, DJing and all of that good stuff.
Okay. Well, as far as the DJing, when I was young, I was always good at music. I used to play the piano. I played the cello.
Okay.
And, I always had interest in music. And then, when hip hop came about, of course, I got into that. And I just started. Actually, I bought a pair of, what do they call them? Radio Shack turntables.
Oh,
and that was when people first started scratching and all that type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I started, practicing with that, playing records. And, that's pretty much how it all started.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you've been doing this for how long?
Man, 20 plus years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you actually are a vet in this, in what you do.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Now, I know when you started out, you did not see yourself to where you are now.
Nah, nowhere near.
Okay, but I'm still kind of confused, right? Okay, because I understood you said that, you started out with the Radio Shack turntables, got it, right?
Right.
But then how did you get into the mixtapes and the exotic dancers?
Okay, from, like I said, progressing from just practicing in the crib with the cheap turntables, as I got older and started making a little bit more money, then I was able to buy the professional turntables. I started doing house parties and stuff like that, then elevated to DJing in clubs. Actually, the first club I actually DJed, I don't know if you remember Tailgaters back in the day off Little Creek Road in Norfolk. That was my first actual club. I mean, it was a strip club, but that was the first club I actually started at. From then on, I started doing a lot of different nightclubs in the area. And as far as elevating to the mixtape game, for me being, popular in the area from the clubs, I started making mixtapes. They started doing well. I was selling those when I was in high school. DJ's Music and Video were selling people's mixtapes. So
that's right. Yeah.
I contacted them and, let them know what I did. They gave me a try, put my mixtapes in there, and they started doing very well. And that's how my mixtapes took off.
Okay.
From that, Daytona Beach, Bike Week, and all that stuff became real popular.
Oh, so you were all the beauties were at.
Yeah. I tried to, stay out, as much
Yeah.
possible to, keep the notoriety thing going. And I actually came up with the idea to do a mixtape video where I had the music from the mixtapes and I had footage from Daytona Beach, Bike Week, exotic dancers from the club, and then I
Okay.
added the porn stars in it. So it was like a mixtape video of all that combined. So that's really how
Okay, so
everything
you were
popped
having
off.
like a Freaknik type thing. Oh
Yeah.
no.
Well, yeah, it was kind of like the idea came from all the stuff that was going on in that particular time period, and I kind of
Mhm.
put it together, and I was really like the first person to put everything together in that package.
Right.
You know.
Now, okay, I get it. So
Hmm.
you were saying you were out in Daytona Beach and all that. So you wasn't here with a lot of, I call them stretch marks and bullet holes girls. Like you were out there where they were really, it was plentiful and a lot going on, right?
Well, I
Like
was
far as this is a strip club.
right. Well, I mean, I was here too, but
Okay.
I just bounced around and I traveled, so that's what kind of I got to see a little bit more, I guess, than maybe the average person that just stayed in this area all the time. I kind of bounced around.
Right. Okay,
Yeah.
but now far as the relationship wise, right?
Hmm.
I'm trying to figure out if you're around girls like all the time. I just think that the young lady that you do inquire, like she has to be very confident in who she is because you're around girls who basically throw themselves at you all day long.
Right.
So how, like far as relationship, how does that work out for you?
Man, it's definitely tough to keep it,
Yeah.
100 with you. I've had girlfriends that were in the industry that I'm
Okay.
in. They were dancers. Sometimes that worked out. Sometimes it was a lot of friction, being that we both were, around each other or in the same type of environment all the time. And then you have the females that I might have been, had relationships with outside, but they weren't
Gotcha.
comfortable with what I did being around females, like you said.
Okay.
But a lot of times, the females that I am around with, as far as my job, as far as DJing in the strip clubs and the regular clubs, they're just, they're people I work with. Doesn't
Mhm.
mean I'm having relations with them. So it makes it difficult though on relations, definitely.
Right.
Hmm.
Well, I'll be honest with you, right? Sitting beside you now and then doing my little research on you or whatever,
Hmm.
I, what I see in the videos, I don't see sitting beside me. Like it's like I don't know if you have an alter ego or something like that or whatever, but it's just like I just refuse to believe that that's like you
Really?
because it's like you just seem like chill, kind of laid back, reserved.
Right.
But I don't know if you have like a switch that you turn on and you be like, oh, okay, this business. So, you know,
Now, to be honest, all the stuff that I did was just something that I was interested in, even as
okay.
far as like, talking about Daytona Beach and Bike Week. That was an idea that I had in mind. So I would go out there and then I would, approach girls about filming them, let them know like, I'm
Okay.
putting together a DVD. And, to be honest, I'm kind of laid back. I'm not really an outgoing type person for real, for real.
Mm-hmm.
To be
Right.
honest with you. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
So let me ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
Now you just mentioned you chilled, you laid back, and when you was out Daytona Beach or wherever you are for
Right.
that weekend, you just approach girls. How exactly? Like, okay, I'm one of the girls. How? What are you saying? Like, and then tell me their reaction. What are they saying back? Are they like, oh my god, yes? Are they just looking at the big picture of being on TV?
Nah, I mean, with the environment at the time when it was at its peak, I
Uh-huh.
would say, they just wanted to be seen at the time. It was just all
Okay.
about having fun and shaking ass, if I can say that. Can I?
Yeah,
Yes,
I can cuss up here.
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, all right. So yeah, it was just all about fun, shaking ass, and it was just the attention from all the guys. The girls loved that, so it pretty
Mhm.
much, that pretty much made it kind of easy, to be honest with you. I didn't really
Right.
have to
Oh.
do, that much.
So
For
basically, you
real.
just had to let them know, hey, I'm doing a video, and they was pretty much
Down
with
with
it.
it.
Right.
So,
Mhm.
how did you know what girls to approach? Like, was it a certain look or a certain way they was acting?
I think what she's trying to ask is, does she have the look?
ain't
Is
no
she what
way.
you looking for? Because I mean, she asking all these questions like she trying to put her bid in.
I know that's right. You trying to be in the you trying to be in the next DVD? Let me find out.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, but yeah, go ahead and answer her question before she have a heart attack.
Let me see. How can I put it? You said what did I do or say in particular?
What do you look
no,
for?
yeah, what did you
What do I look for? Oh yeah.
in order to approach them?
I mean, they definitely had to be attractive, nice
Mhm.
bodies, cute face,
Mhm.
and like I said, the atmosphere. We tried to set the atmosphere. Like, say, I'm in Myrtle Beach or whatever. You know, I would
Right.
definitely get a nice room, one of the nicest rooms they got with a jacuzzi in it
Mhm.
and all that. So I would set the environment, you know, to make it so. Like once I approach you about being
Mhm.
on my DVD or whatever, you know, you would see that I'm a professional. Like I'm
Right.
not
Okay.
just doing some just off the top of my head
okey-doke,
type
yeah.
stuff. Like, look, this is playing, and you know, I show you my videos that I've done. I'll show you, you know, pictures and stuff or whatever videos on my phone to let you know, like I'm official. That I'm not just no guy out here just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Doing average stuff.
Just trying
So
to-
yeah.
Okay, now what would you say if people say, you know what, like, you know, you're taking advantage of these women because they're out here and maybe they're looking for love, or maybe they lost or whatever it is, and they say that, oh, he's taking advantage of these women.
Oh no, definitely not. First of all the girls that I do approach about being in videos or whatever, they're getting paid.
Okay.
Second of all, you know, they sign a release form and
Mhm.
everything, you know, giving me, you know, the rights to use their stuff. So
Right.
I don't definitely feel that I'm, you know, taking advantage of anybody in any particular way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, now I was doing my research, right? Again, and I read where early 2000, mid 2000s or whatever, you had an issue with the police and stuff dealing with um videoing and stuff like that.
Right.
Okay, so we really won't go into that, but what I'm trying to get at is, being that happened during that time,
Mm-hmm.
if you could change something, would you? Or do you think that happened at the right time so that you can be where you are now?
I would think that definitely held me back. I think I would be at a whole different plateau of what I do right now if that hadn't happened. And I mean, we could talk about the whole situation. I don't have a
Okay.
problem talking about it.
I'm glad you said that, Joe, because I sure was about to go back and ask. I ain't even gonna lie. I was waiting for you
Okay,
to
well,
answer.
Yeah.
explain to us what happened.
Well, this was in 2003. Like I said, I was probably at the peak of selling my mixtapes and videos in all the
Mhm.
different stores, pretty much nationwide. And what happened was I was selling my stuff to a guy that was setting up a stand at Lake Gaston Bike Fest.
Mhm.
And you know, I talked to him over the phone. I think I had an event or something, so I wasn't able to actually make it to the event to
Okay.
actually bring it to him. So I sent the stuff to him, mailed it to him,
Mhm.
and you know, he set up his table out there. And matter of fact, I had to send him. I told him I'd send him a banner to put on the table. He said he was going to have a table, uh, basically just selling all my stuff, all my CDs,
Okay.
all my DVDs. So it was, you know, a good amount of stuff that he paid for, sent it to him. And I say about 2 or 3 weeks passed. And yeah, after the 2 or 3 weeks passed, he called me. He said, I know you want your banner back. I can meet you at Military Circle Mall to pick it up. So I'm like, all right, you know, I need it because you know, I DJ and I use that banner, you know, I put on my, you know, in the front of my table, you know, it has
Right.
Joe Pro mix CDs, DVDs. So anyway, I pull up the Military Circle Mall and you know, I let them know what, you know, what car I was gonna be in and whatnot. So I noticed like a the Military Circle Mall security van kept circling around. You know, I ain't paying no mind.
Right.
I'm just
Okay.
chilling, waiting to meet up with the dude.
Mhm.
So anyway, keep circling around, and then the Norfolk police jumps out the security van, comes up to my car. You know, you're under arrest. I'm like, what are you talking about? You're under arrest
I would
for
have fell out.
yeah, for illegal mixed CDs and DVD. I'm like, what? So that's how it all started. They locked me up, you know, Norfolk City
At
Jail,
811.
811,
Oh my Jesus.
and while I'm locked up, they're raiding my house.
Mm.
So you know, I was living with my mom and dad.
Mhm.
So 20 police cars in front of the house.
Hold Hold on, it took all of them to come in there like that.
They got my mom and dad at gunpoint, like I'm the kingpin of Norfolk.
Norfolk.
Yeah, so
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's how that went down. But the actual charge I got was possession of recorded devices with no name and address of manufacturer.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Basically, if you have over a certain amount of recorded devices that don't have a true name and address of manufacturer on them, it's a felony.
Okay.
So at that particular time, they were using that against people that were selling mixtapes. And
so the name or address of like your company, or the name and address of the people that made the recorded devices?
The actual name and address of the people that made the recorded devices.
Wow.
So that and that was a law that actually was put in effect back in the days when people were selling like 8 tracks. It was just to protect, the people that were making certain stuff, because you know how people used to record live performances and stuff like that and sell them. That's what the actual law was for. But they started using it against actually different stores that were selling mixtapes and different DJs. So that's how I kind of got caught up in that.
Wow.
Oh wow, I never even heard of no charge like that.
Me either. I've never even heard of it actually until, like I said, when I did my research on you. And I said, so I went and I Googled that, of course, too, and I'm like, oh my God. So but to me it seemed like it was targeted towards African Americans.
Right. And they definitely targeted me in this area because they felt like I was the main one. So they used me as what do you call it? What's that word?
Pig.
Yeah. It's another word, but yeah, I'll take that one because they definitely tried to drag me, man. I tell you.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, you can look at it. Okay, well, at least that kind of did happen early on, even though you probably felt like you could be further along. But what if they hadn't happened then, and you were further along, and you could have lost a lot more? So you learned the business aspect of it.
Right.
That's what I'm getting at, right?
Right.
Compared to now. Okay, so now, I don't know what to say. Like, because I'm I looked at some of the videos, whatever, and I was gonna join your thing, and I was like, no, can't get this $10.
Wait a minute, join.
Oh, you talking about
yeah, because he actually has an app. He has an app.
Oh yeah, can I talk about that or you
Yes,
can't really?
yes.
Okay.
Yes, tell us a little bit about your app.
I have a new phone now. This was the thing too. I've been trying to go digital for forever. I've talked to different people and people led me on. I sent people money to develop a website. It was supposed to have all my stuff up there for streaming, downloading. Everybody faked me out. They acted they could do it, couldn't do it. And luckily, I hooked up with Brad from Coastal Media, and he set this thing up for me. I have my own phone app now. It has all my mix CDs, all my DVDs on it. So now everything is streaming. So people have access to all my old stuff and my new stuff.
Oh, that's what I was about to ask. What about your stuff from back in the day?
Right. I have all that stuff up there and everything. I got new stuff coming. And I'm pretty excited about it because it's it's my own thing. It's not like it's on Apple Music or nothing like that. It's my own.
You have creative control, and it's everything comes to you versus when we on other platforms, the money and stuff goes to them, but everything is basically in house.
Right.
So, so your ultimate goal is to be like a director of porn, like a what is it?
Hugh Hefner.
Hugh Hefner is not a director of porn.
No, but he's like the Playboy guy.
Yeah.
That had the bunnies and the ladies. Now, is your ultimate goal to be like a director of porn, or to be like the Black Hugh Hefner, or what is your ultimate goal as far as like with the videos and everything? Because I remember Joe Pro from way back in like the early 90s.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Doing the videos and stuff like all over the Tidewater. It was like, oh my God, they in the Joe Pro video. And it was almost like, no, seriously, it was almost like, although you was getting like some local girls around here too or whatever, but it was almost like the attention, like they were stars. Right. And like you was a star. But how that go. But it was almost like y'all was a star, like y'all was a local celeb. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it really was, because it was like, oh, you see the new Joe Pro video. Oh, you see such and such is in the video. Oh my God, how they get in the
all
video?
Of them, yeah.
Like, how they get in the video?
Yeah.
So what is your ultimate goal? Like, do you want to, advance and like maybe move to like the mainstream as far as porn, like on one of the main cable channels? Would that be something you would be interested in doing?
You know what? At this point in the game, I'm trying to figure everything out because you
Okay.
know how like OnlyFans is kind of taking over. Like I wouldn't say taking over the porn industry, but it's definitely changed everything. Because
Yeah.
now the
Yeah.
stuff that you would see when you watch a a porn, you
You
can
see
see
on
it OnlyFans
OnlyFans,
now. So the
right.
game, I would say the pandemic definitely changed a lot of stuff as
Oh
far as
yeah.
with the clubs and with the porn industry all in general.
Oh yeah,
Honestly.
because that's true about the OnlyFans. Because now most of the girls are becoming their own
Right.
little TV show.
So they
type
actually
thing.
don't have to go through anybody to actually,
Right. Right.
Yeah, they
That's
kind of
true.
do
Right.
it in their living room, in the bathroom, or whatever.
right.
So have you thought about maybe doing other shows outside of porn, like getting into just doing the regular series or movies?
Like you smell like a web series or something.
Yeah. On his
On his
app where
app,
people
yeah.
can download and
Yeah.
watch like a Netflix or whatever.
I'm kind of looking into that. I haven't totally, dived in yet.
Okay.
I do have a lot of footage that I actually been sitting on for the last couple of years. 'Cause I
Mhm.
haven't actually put out a DVD in 2 years, just figuring out what's going on. The
Right.
DVD stores are still open, but
Mhm.
people aren't really,
Really
going
get
to
in.
them like that. And then the red boxes, they were real hot at one point.
Mhm.
But people still go to those. But basically, to make a long story short, nobody is really going to stores to buy DVDs. So I'm
Right.
figuring out, how
How
to
to
set up
How
right
to set up so they can
for the
stream it
next
like
one.
a Netflix or something.
Right, which will definitely be on the phone app.
Right.
Definitely.
And yeah, because with the way technology is forever changing, yeah, I can understand what you're saying. You're trying to figure out where to go, how to go from here
Right.
to because everything is microwavable now.
Exactly.
You don't have to leave home for groceries. You don't got to leave home for ass. Like you just
Exactly. It's
it's
crazy.
they just come to you. You know. But I'm enjoying talking to you, but we gotta go to a commercial right quick.
Oh.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Gam with Way to Gam Minute Podcast. The hottest boutique in the 757 is none other than Blase Boutique, 325 High Street, Portsmouth, VA 23704. And if you can't make it in the store, of course they got a website, www.blahzayatl.com. Yeah, here we go again. www.blahzayatl.com. Hit them up today.
Okay, and just like that, we're back once again. I wanted to ask you, okay, how many kids do you have, if you don't mind me asking?
I have 4.
You have 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 girls and 2 boys.
2 girls and 2 boys. Okay. Now, are they grown?
No.
Okay. So what if your kids were to see one of your DVDs? Like, have you ever thought about how in the world would you explain it? I could see not explaining to the boys because they're boys, but the girls,
Right.
like, how would you explain, like, oh, well, Dad, he got to put them shoes on you, so how would you explain to one of them, what you do?
If I ever got asked, which I haven't been asked yet, I have a daughter that's 18 and a daughter that's
Okay.
21, and they haven't asked me any questions yet. But I would just explain to them, that that's just something that I do. I feature exotic dancers, on my DVDs, and I have some girls that actually do explicit material on my stuff. So
Right.
I would just
Explain to them
explain
just
it to
like
'em.
that.
Yeah, I mean, I had to keep it real with them.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
And I think if you keep it real with them or whatever, then they can't do anything but explain it.
Right.
Accept it rather. But being that you are from a 2-parent household, and you were raised a little different from your profession, right?
Yeah, totally different.
So how
Matter of
did your
fact.
parents, like, what did they say? Like, what in the world? What, you done fell and bumped your head? Like, what in the world you doing with these women?
You know what? My parents didn't really like it, but they know I wasn't doing anything illegal,
Okay.
and I was making a nice amount of money, so
Okay.
they weren't all for it, but they weren't against it at the same
Right.
time, if you get what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So have people actually due to the fact you're a DJ, so you spin records, then you also turn around and you know you do the recordings, you
Uh-huh.
spin the girls. Do have anyone
Yeah.
actually referred to you as like a pimp?
No, she didn't.
Yeah.
I've had some people say that, but
Yeah.
I'm, nowhere near like taking
Yeah.
advantage of anybody or like keeping anybody's money or
Yeah.
so I put myself on a whole different
He said he ain't keeping
level than
nobody
that.
money.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
saying pimps keep the money?
Yeah.
I mean, that's from what you see and
Yeah,
hear, right? In
yeah.
the movies and stuff,
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I kind of look at you along the lines of Uncle Luke. Have you ever heard that before?
Yeah, a lot.
Like,
That's exactly what I look at him like that.
yeah,
too.
cause like he's laid back, and Uncle Luke, I watched him on an interview, on Bitch I Got My Pots with Trick Daddy the other
Mhm.
day, and he was saying, how he basically on the out end of it now because he's married and stuff like that. So with that being said, would you ever get married, or are you married now? That's why would you? You
Nah.
may be married now.
No, I'm not married. And you said would I get married?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. If I met the right one, I would definitely get married. Yeah, I
Oh.
mean, I believe I could still have a relationship and still keep on, with what I'm doing with the right woman is, understanding to the type business I'm in, definitely.
So basically, what you're saying is you're not going to sacrifice what you built for a relationship, right?
Right.
Okay, and that's
I know
understandable.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's understandable, especially when you know your niche and you good at it, and and this is what it is. Then,
Right.
if you should get married or
Mhm.
get with somebody, then of course she'll or whoever that person is, then God will send them, and they already know that it's no.
Right.
Is no choosing. This is what it is.
Right.
So I definitely get you on that. So what is a day like in your life? Like, what do you do when you're not, DJing and recording and stuff like that?
And you know what's crazy? It's like when I'm not working or not working on something,
Mhm.
like I got the most boring life ever. Like people would never even think like I take care of my mom. My mom is 87 years old.
Wow,
I
that's a
pretty much
blessing. That's a
yeah.
blessing.
So I pretty much take care of her. So to be honest, when I'm not working, I'm home, making sure she's okay.
Okay.
So kind of different than the younger days. When I could be out hanging out. Now I'm
Mhm.
just more chill and more laid back and more responsible and everything else. Pretty much.
That's
Oh,
good. That's great. So yeah, she would have to really come in and be a caretaker. She, you ain't doing none of that.
Yeah.
Can't help mom, then
Yeah. You
can't help me.
only get one mom. You got to make sure she's straight.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's great. And then 87, she living a
Yeah.
long life.
And then
A
I'm
good life.
I'm an only child, so I
Oh,
gotta be
yeah.
there. So
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh
Absolutely.
wow.
Yeah.
So you the only child?
only child.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Well, at least you're doing what you, especially to be honest with you, being that you are a gentleman. A lot of times, guys, they go off and they do their thing, whatever. They're not as caring and nurturing
Right.
to the parent, as the female is.
Right.
Sometimes. So you kind of knocked me out the box with that one.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's absolutely a good thing. So you kind of like an introvert, a little.
Yeah. Kinda. Yeah. You could say that. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So what is your? I know Ms. Go Getter asked you about your goal,
Mhm.
but 3 to 5 years, if you could see yourself doing something and you set yourself up right now, what would it be? What would you be doing and why?
2-3 years from now, I definitely would probably own some type of company, whether it be a recording company where I could actually, manage artists or something like that, or something, managing girls in the, explicit industry,
Right,
foreign industry, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, something like that.
That's interesting that you said that because I thought you actually see you don't know, see how you assume stuff. See now I actually thought you managed like maybe managed or had your own production company all these years. I
Not
actually thought you had your own production company because the way you was spitting out the tapes and stuff,
right.
I thought you actually had that. So when you was doing the tapes, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you first started, was that like a goal? Was that set in your mind as far as making it the business, or you just now, getting your groove? Like, okay, let me make this into a production company. like a big production company?
Well, actually, I had a production. Well, not I wouldn't call it a production company, but I had a distributor
Okay.
that distributed my stuff to the different states, and so that's
okay.
how my stuff really got out there.
Okay. Because I was like, how you get that out? Okay.
Yeah, shout out to Tape Man Incorporated.
But that was good though. You know what's very impressive is like back in the day, we're talking about in the 90s, early 90s, before social media
Right.
and all of that. You actually was doing things and putting people on
Right.
that social media, like how you had the socialites now.
Right.
You technically was doing that back then with some of these young ladies.
Right.
You was making them the socialites, and you was doing it before there was even a
So
Facebook or Space.
They were the
Jam,
pro-lights,
Space,
right?
You said pro. Right, good one, good one. The pro lights, right, and that's a good one, Gam. But right, because they was actually getting, the popularity. They was getting noticed and everything. Like, oh, they was in a Joe Pro. It was like y'all just don't understand. It was like a big deal.
So you were being innovative then, and I don't even think that you really realized how innovative that was.
That's what I was about to say. Like, I was on the inside, and looking in from the outside, and I'm doing it. I was just living my life. I wasn't thinking of, you know what I'm saying, how popular it was at the time. So I really didn't know. I know a lot of people, like my work and like what I do, but I didn't know to the extent of how far it was going, and people in different countries had my DVDs and videos and stuff. Yeah.
And not only the pro lights, right? Even artists,
whole pro lights.
Even artists, like, because my understanding is that when you did your mixtape, you kind of mix, celebrities in with them too. So you actually putting on the indie artists too.
Right. And I'm still doing that, on my mixtapes, even though I haven't put out a new video in a while. I've been putting out, the mixtapes every 2 months, and I always feature local artists. And the thing about my mixtape, how some people have just put local artists, at the end, and then all the major artists before. I mix them in, so the people that's listening to it get a chance to listen to everybody and not just skip through. You got to listen to this to get to this song. If you get what I'm saying,
right?
So, yeah.
So that's why a lot of artists and a lot of people in general, especially around here, and I'm sure away too, look at you the way they do look at you, because you're not only just doing production and stuff like that. You're bridging the gap. I don't, and the thing is, I don't even think you really realize that, especially from this area, right? Where the artists, like, for some reason, this community, I'm gonna say Hampton Roads, whatever, we can't seem to get it together, like far as being inclusive with each other.
Right.
It's always, I'm on an island, you on an island, and it's a body of water in the middle. But I think what you done early on, and even down to now, I think if we had a couple of more heavy hitters that would do that, it would definitely close a lot of gaps within our city and within our state.
Right.
So with that being said, what would you say to someone who is looking to, well, and not looking, they are artists, right? But they're having some issues trying to find their lane. Like, what would you say to them to give them some type of what word I'm looking for? Some type of encouragement to keep going.
As far as artists, I would definitely say perfect your craft, practice. Also with a lot of different artists, I mean, as far as rap artists, R&B, they don't understand you got to reach out to these DJs and and give them your music beforehand. Just don't try to approach them in the club like, yo, can you play this?
Right.
Or download this real quick and play it in the club for me. You got to talk to them, build a relationship with them,
right,
to actually so they're actually really listening to you and want to play your stuff. Like, trying to get them to play it right there on the spot in the club ain't the way. You know what I mean?
And you know what, I've seen people even like down to us, like, yo, let me get on the podcast. What's your name? Like, who are you? So that comes with communication. And I think that people who are out here developing artists, I think they need a public speaking class. Like, They need a class on public speaking and communication. Because, you know, when you're doing the interviews, first of all, they already thinking that we don't know how to speak, or, you know, we don't know what we're talking about. So I think a lot of times if we have effective communication, it can go a long ways.
Right.
So I'm definitely with you on that, and building that rapport with the community in which, you know, you using your niche. You know, I don't know, but that's just my little 2 cents. But you know, I'm not in the industry, so who am I? But I don't know. So what is something that people don't know about you? What is a misconception that people have about Joe Pro?
I done had females to tell me they thought I was conceited, or they thought I was arrogant,
Oh
or
wow.
and then they got to know me and it's like, oh, you nothing like, you know, what I perceived you to be. And I mean that's really it, to be honest.
That's because they were looking at you like a celebrity.
You think that's it?
Yeah. They're probably looking at you like a celebrity, and you know how they think all celebrities, you know how people think. But I have a quick question. As far as like, I know you have developed a lot of pro lights, as GAM now calls them, the pro lights. Have any of your pro lights went on to become like video vixens? That's what they call them, right? When they go to like the rap videos,
Right.
or the R&B, or become actual socialites once they got the social media? Have any of them went on to become socialites or video vixens?
I got a few that I've worked with and took out of town with me to different clubs and stuff like that, with that's become real popular. I haven't really been in any like hip hop videos, but definitely real popular in the area. Definitely real big on Facebook and Instagram, and you know, a few have made their, you know, their OnlyFans pages, and you know, are doing very well. So
do you receive? Did they give you credit? Did they shout you out and give you the credit for
yeah, they show me love sometimes.
Oh, you say sometimes.
Yeah,
I heard the
sometimes.
sometimes. I heard the
You know how
shade
it
in
be.
there. Yeah.
Nah, just
You know how? Yeah, I know how it be. They forget sometimes. Be like,
Yeah.
oh, how did you get here, girl? Oh, you know, I was really working it, and I was working long. I forget all about you.
No, Miss Go Get they be like, no, I came from the mud. I came up from the mud. Okay, you came up from the mud, but somebody helped you.
Right.
You know, somebody gave you a helping hand. So when you see those young ladies go on and they do their thing, like how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel good because I had, you know, a part in getting them known, or you know, maybe I was their stepping stone to the next
Right.
plateau. So I definitely feel good about it.
Right. That's a good thing, because at the end of the day, you know, even if they don't acknowledge, you know that they really know how they got where they are.
Right.
Yeah. So that's going to still, in the long run, help you out, because you, just because they might not put you on their resume, you still can put them on your resume.
Right. Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so you want a resume builder. I got you. But now let me ask you this. Now, being that you're a DJ, right? I know like in a lot of other fields, you know, we have the camaraderie, you know, against each other, whatever. But when you're out, being that you are who you are, you know, do other DJs give you like any type of cold shoulder, or like, you know, like he ain't all that, you know, whatever? And if so, how did you handle that?
I mean, I'm pretty sure they do. I don't really have no problems, you know, when I'm out. I'm pretty sure it's been said, or you know, he ain't all that, or blase blah. But I really don't have any issues with anybody. I don't have no DJ beef with anybody or nothing like that. We all pretty cool, and even if, you know, they feel a certain way about me, they show me respect, and you know, they speak and all that. So I don't really have no problems with anybody.
Right. Okay. I was also looking, and I saw about, I think it was in 2012, about a 2012 something like that. I can't remember the year. About a young lady who was killed. You remember that? Was that your daughter or your stepdaughter?
No, that was my daughter. That was
your
my
daughter?
actual daughter.
Okay. So I was reading up on that, and I was taken back. Well, not really taken back. I was trying to get an understanding of how you may have felt, right?
Yeah, that was
you know, you being a dad, and that happened to your 12-year-old. So if you don't mind, can you elaborate a little bit on, you know, how you felt and like where you were with it now?
Yeah, that was actually one of the worst times of my life. I actually was DJing at a club. I think I was at Magic City 2 in Newport News.
Okay.
And I was packing up my equipment, about to leave. I think it was maybe like 1:30, something like that, 1:30, quarter to 2. and I get a call from my mom, and my mom normally don't call me,
Right.
around about that time of the night, because she know I'm, either in the club about to get off or whatever. And she got a call and told me, she tried to, I don't know if that was an easy way of saying, she was like, Joe, I just got a call from he was talking about my baby's mother,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, your daughter's gone. Like, what do you mean she's gone?
Right.
And she was like, she's been murdered. They trying to find out what happened. Now I'm like, what? Like,
Yeah.
your mom ain't kidding. I'm like, are you kidding? But
Yeah.
it's coming from your mom, so
Mhm.
yeah. So she was like, you need to call Robin, which is my daughter's mother.
Right.
And I called her, and the phone just rang and rang and rang. So basically, I packed up my equipment real fast. I told one of my homeboys, he was like, man, I'll take you over there to where it happened at.
Okay.
My mother told me, it happened at the house, and that she had called my baby's mother, my daughter's mother had called her and told her.
Mm-hmm.
So we packed up everything and raced, over there to her house. And of course, the paramedics and forensics and all of them were still
Right.
there. And I mean, it was just a terrible, terrible thing for her to go through. I didn't see all the things that she saw coming home. But make a long story short, her, what do you call it? I guess her stepfather
Mm-hmm.
had basically murdered her and raped her, had slit her throat and raped her. And that was, that was just really tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how does one pick up the pieces from that? Like, you just having a regular day at work till it going, it's going south. Like how did you get through it? Or are you still getting through it? Should I ask?
I mean, I'm still getting through it, and to be honest, I don't even know how I got through that time. It was that was just so crazy and unexpected. And I think maybe I had talked to her like maybe 2 days before then, and then she's just gone just like that over something crazy and unexpected. And then the her stepfather, the guy that raped her and killed her,
Mm-hmm.
he went to a golf course out Ocean View and slit his wrist and tried to kill
Right.
himself. And then the police found him, and they put him in jail. And some people I knew from that were in jail at the time,
Mm-hmm.
they had a chance to put their hands on him a little bit, but
Right.
that don't make up for
Mhm.
nowhere near what happened. But
Right. So have you
yeah.
forgiven him?
Nah, you can't forgive nothing like that.
I definitely understand. Okay, so let's switch gears. But before I switch gears, our condolences to you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You and your family.
Exactly.
Appreciate that. Yeah, he got life in jail,
Right,
no
yeah.
parole, but that don't.
Yeah. And what's ironic is when I was looking all that up,
Mm-hmm.
I used to work with his brother. He was my boss.
Wow.
So, and when he came to the regional, I was working there.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of knew a little bit, even though I didn't know of you. I knew they kept saying that's Joe Pro daughter, it's Joe Pro daughter, so I really didn't know. I just basically hearsay then, but I just wanted to get your take on that as well. But let's fast forward a little bit. Okay. So you are Joe Pro, right? You're a DJ and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
What makes you different from the other DJs out here? Like if somebody was to book you for a party, right?
Right.
Or a club, why would I go with you versus DJ Gam?
DJ Gam. All right. I would say I definitely, what I'm saying, I'm well known for my mixes. I hype the party up, I get the party started, and not only am I just going to DJ your event too, I'm going to help promote your event and try to get people to come out. I know a lot of DJs in the area, once you send them that deposit or whatever, they like okay, and they show up, they do their thing, but they don't help you try to pack the building. I'm a little different, I got a nice following on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, so I'm gonna try to help you out. I'm gonna promote, almost just as hard as you do to get people in the building. So
right.
So do you DJ private parties, like if like individuals, like if I was having a party, would you DJ my party, or you just do DJ parties at clubs?
I do pretty much everything. To be
Okay.
honest with you. Yeah, I do after parties, regular parties, weddings, wedding receptions. You know, a little bit of everything. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I
Mhm.
think that's good because, and you know what, you're actually right when you said about how these DJs now, I call them millenniums or whatever,
Mhm.
they just, go off of, yeah, you book me and that's it. They don't try to promote one because it's, to me, it's like a cross thing. Like you promoting, you're there and also the event that you're doing.
Right.
So it's a win-win for everybody.
Right.
But yeah, a lot of people don't do that with events and stuff like that. They just do the bare minimum and get the money and go home. So how does it make you feel when you out there, you mixing or whatever,
Mhm.
and like they really getting down? Like people come tell you after, like, yo, like you rock that, like, man, I ain't danced like that since early 90s, or or I normally come and I sit down,
Right.
but I couldn't sit down with you tonight. Like, how does that make you feel?
I mean, that definitely makes you feel good. I mean, you put in the time, practicing, and you put in the time to come up with certain mixes or whatever you do at a party that you know is going to hype the crowd. So it's good to see that sometimes the hard work pays off. So that's definitely a good feeling.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure. So if you ever need any assistance or whatever, just hit me up. I don't really do too many mixes or whatever. I probably get my practice in with that, but anything else, I can, host or whatever else. Just call me. I'm
Sounds
definitely
good.
loyal. I'm definitely loyal. But
Sounds good.
no, but honestly, I wanted to ask you, right? Being that you are an influential person,
Mhm.
and some people may say, being that he's an influence, why wouldn't you use your influence to, because some people may think that you are degrading women, right?
Mhm.
Or not uplifting women.
Mhm.
How would you, being that you have that influence and that's how they think, some may say, well, why wouldn't he be uplifting to women, or why would he use his influence the way that he's using it versus something positive?
Right.
Or do you look at it as not being positive?
I don't look at it as not being positive. I know some people might look at it in a negative way,
Mm-hmm.
but as far as females, um, as far as degrading, I wouldn't say anything I'm doing is degrading them. If it's anything, is taking them to another level at whatever they want to be, in or
Mm-hmm.
whatever they're good at, or whatever they're showing their skills or whatever at. That's what I aim to do. I don't aim to definitely anything negative towards anybody.
Right. Oh, I got you. Okay, now when you're feeling stressed and when you're feeling like, it's just like so much on you, how do you decompress? Like, how does Joe Pro decompress and get his mental together?
Man, I don't even know. I'm stressed out right now. um,
Well, you don't look like it. That's a good thing.
well, that's good to hear because
Yeah.
man, I ain't even gonna lie. I got a lot going on at the crib with moms, keeping moms straight,
Okay.
and shoot. I mean, not to just go on about my personal business, but she just got out the hospital. She had some breathing issues. She's
Oh,
on a
wow.
breathing machine now, so it's just a whole lot going on in my life to where I got to put other stuff second. I got to put her first,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe some stuff that I I'm trying to do at the time, like
Right.
say I just ordered a brand new mixer, for my DJing,
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't even opened the box, haven't set it up, nothing, because for the the last 2 weeks she just been out
Right.
the hospital, and doctors and nurses, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just been crazy. But I don't know. I don't know what I don't. I
Yeah.
can't even answer that
Can't even
question
answer
right
that.
now because I'm when you're going through something, you just know you gotta just stay on point and,
Keep
and man
pushing.
up and just keep going. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's where I'm at with it right
Well,
now.
I definitely want to say, you definitely don't look like what you've been through or what you're going through. So
Mhm.
that's a good thing. And you know, although I don't know all of it or whatever, I do know that God is a provider, right?
Right,
And so that's one of the reasons why you're getting through. So He's
right,
going to continue to provide and do what He does. So and that's going to allow you to do what you do.
right.
So He's going to take care of that situation. Um, but we're about to wrap it up in a few. But I wanted to ask you, right? If you could change anything about Joe Pro, right? What would it be, and why would you change it?
If I could change anything,
I mean, it can be personality. It can be,
Anything.
anything.
I mean, if it was anything that I could change, it would definitely be not getting arrested and going through that shit I went through in 2003.
Right.
Like I said, I think I would be on a whole nother level as far as with DJing and the mixtapes and everything if that hadn't happened. But you can't go back in time. But that's one thing I would definitely change. As far as anything else, I can't really think of nothing right now, to be honest.
Well, that's cool because sometimes we don't have anything. Like I personally don't have any regrets because I feel like if I have some regrets, then I wouldn't be or have done or whatever.
Right.
What I'm, what's going on now or before or whatever. But you've been DJing, you said 20 some years, right?
Uh-huh.
And I also read or heard you say that you started out being a ventriloquist.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, I started laughing. I said, ain't no way in hell. Like, I can't see that. But then, now that you said that you played the cello and the piano, okay.
And he was the only child.
Okay, so this dude is multifaceted. Like,
Yeah.
He's pretty much everywhere. He doing everything.
Yeah, it's crazy. When I was young, I don't know if you heard of Willie Tyler and Lester.
I think I heard
black
a little bit of that.
yeah,
Yeah.
He was the most well-known black ventriloquist that I know of that's been on TV. And I saw him, and then I started. My mother was a librarian, so I got all the books on ventriloquism, started reading them, and I started doing it. And actually, I became real popular from that. Even before the DJing, I was doing Chesapeake Chesapeake Arts Festival. I mean, no, against Arts Festival, Chesapeake Jubilee.
I remember Chesapeake
all
Jubilee.
Those type stuff. Yeah, they would hire me to actually come and perform with my dummy or ventriloquist puppet, you want to call it, Jerome. And yeah.
Where is Jerome now?
Jerome is at the house. He's chilling. I haven't really pulled him out the box in a minute, but he's still around.
Oh,
do you think you still can do it?
Yeah. I still do.
But see, you know what? Being Miss Go Getter, just like you said, being that he's the only child, they normally have like 4 or 5 people, anyway. So they kind of, can do all of that.
Right.
So that was
to make up for being lonely, right?
Right. And you might need a little brother, a little sister, or whoever it is, or whatever. Yeah, definitely. I get it. But we got to run our last commercial right quick before we go.
Okay.
Okay, and we're back with DJ Joe Pro. I can't believe we actually got you here, and I'm gonna fry you while you up here now because I DM'd you. I DM'd you on Facebook as well as Instagram. I had to reach out to Capri to get you. She was like, "No problem." I was like, "What is it gonna take? Like, who I need to call to get this guy on Wait a Damn Minute?"
Did you DM me on Instagram?
I did.
I swear I didn't see it. I remember you said you messaged me too on
I did.
Was that on Facebook?
I did. Mm-hmm.
Did I reply back?
And you did not.
I don't think I saw that either. I don't know if we were friends. You know how if a person isn't your friend, they go to that whole other inbox.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's might what happened because I don't ignore anybody.
I said, maybe I should send him a picture. Then he'd have been like, "Oh, okay, all right." I felt like I had to use that to get in there.
Yeah, I wasn't ignoring you or anything. I really didn't see it because I don't ignore anybody. You know what I'm saying? I definitely would at least hit you back and gave you my number and told you to call me or text me or something. Yeah, so I don't.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Capri, the bestest, because
I got a lot of love for Capri.
Yeah,
man. She's good people.
Yeah. We went to school together, so she linked us up or whatever and made the situation happen, and I'm forever grateful. Because what we do is when we have interviews or whatever, we just have simple conversation, right?
Right.
And through the conversation, people get to know exactly who you are.
Right.
And what is so ironic is I actually know more about you now, and I look at you different.
Really?
I don't look at you like Joe Pro / Luke. You know what I'm saying? Not in a disrespectful way, like in a real respectful way, honestly.
I appreciate that.
I actually look at you different because I'm like, okay, yeah, this is a job for him. Yeah, he might be like that or whatever. I was like, maybe he's his alter ego, But I have enjoyed talking to you. Miss Go-Getter, do you have any questions before we get off?
No, I don't.
I can't believe why did you put that voice on though? I'm clueless as to why your voice went like that.
Like what though?
Like 900 sex operator or something.
Right.
Like what the word going on back there?
100.
Speaking of Luke, I just did a event with him week before last in
Oh, you
Henderson,
did?
North Carolina. It was Luke, Erica Banks, and Rennie Rucci.
Oh, how was
Yeah,
that?
it was nice. It was real cool. I got a chance to this is like my third event I've done with Luke over the years.
Okay.
And we still haven't had a long, well, I wouldn't say a long conversation, but we haven't had a total conversation. It's more like we speak, you know what I'm saying? And we talk, and then I was DJing while he was, on the mic, hyping the crowd and stuff like that.
Right.
But we never ever got a chance to have a
Sit
conversation.
down.
Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
crazy.
Well,
Wow.
it may happen. But let me
Yeah.
ask you this before we go,
Mhm.
being along the lines of that. Now, being that you guys haven't had that conversation, right? Is he one of the people that you look to for inspiration or no? Or did look to for inspiration?
Yeah, I definitely look to Luke for inspiration. He definitely had a big part in my career and what I'm doing right now. And he's the type person, you would just want to have a conversation and just, just over the years, over the stuff that he's been through and
Right.
and what a trendsetter he is. I just had some questions in my mind to ask him,
Right.
like, how do you get through certain stuff and
Right. Yeah.
stuff he went through himself with the whole thing and with, explicit language and
Right. Yeah.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because he went through a lot of that back in
Yeah.
the 80s and 90s too.
Yeah, if it wasn't for him, right now
A
probably
lot of
rappers
them.
wouldn't be able to curse on records. That's real
Exactly.
talk.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And the girls
Okay.
wouldn't be able to come out with
Yeah.
having their butt out shaking it either.
Yeah,
They
that
wouldn't be
too.
talking about no twerking.
That
Because he was
too.
doing twerking
That
then.
meat Irwin.
Right?
Yeah. Because they was twerking,
Hell yeah.
then.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's true.
So tell our viewers and listeners how they can find DJ Joe Pro, like on all your social media. Give us all your social media handles.
All right. First of all, subscribe to that new app, www.djjopro.app. All my mix CDs are up there, all my DVDs. I have a dancer of the month for every month. I feature her. You get a bio on her, videos, all that, and which I'm going to elevate to the more explicit stuff on that. But as far as Facebook, you can reach me at Joe Pritchard on Facebook, also at Joseph Pritchard on Facebook. You can reach me on Instagram at DJ Joe Pro and Snapchat DJ Joe Pro.
Well, what are you doing on Snapchat? That's what I'm trying to figure out right quick.
Yeah, let me go on Snapchat right quick.
Yeah,
Hold
because
on.
Snapchat be on a whole nother little level too.
Let
So
me see what he
It's,
doing up
it's
there.
just the same thing. I
It's the
post
same
the
thing.
same
Oh,
same
okay.
stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you could go a little bit more explicit
Right.
on Snapchat though.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I get you.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I have enjoyed you thus far. Miss Go Getter, what'd you take away from tonight?
Well, I took away a lot especially when you said some things that people don't know about him. But I think he said this at the beginning when he introduced himself. The instruments that he played, thinking about the Joe Pro, the popular Joe Pro that everybody know him for, then think about him playing the cello and the piano and having a dummy as a best friend. It's kind of almost
Not
like
a dummy.
You're not my best friend.
right.
Don't talk about Jerome like that.
That's funny.
But it's kind of like,
Mhm.
you wouldn't have never thought.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
that's like, wow, that's one of those. Oh, you looked at the book and tried to know the whole story before
Judge
opening.
the book by its
Yeah.
cover.
Right.
So it's one of those type of things because I'm just impressed. Like, wow, you know how to do that? Because I remember the guy that you was talking about because I remember he was on the Jeffersons and I just saw that episode
Right.
a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
And that's very impressive though.
Thank you.
It's very impressive. It's like, wow, okay.
Thank you.
So I took away a lot from today,
Mhm.
learning, actually listening and talking to a person without judging them,
That's right.
Right.
beforehand. So, yeah,
And
that was a good lesson.
it was. And, to piggyback off of what Miss Go Getter said, and I think for us, that was the reason of having you on the podcast because a lot of people just look at people through, their own personal lens. And a lot of times, you have a lot of smudges in it, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted people to see beyond the girls. Like, you're a real live guy, like,
Right.
stand up guy.
Mhm.
And like when you were saying about taking care of your mom and stuff like that, it just hit
Right.
different for me because
Exactly.
I wasn't expecting any of that. So, and I'm sure when people do hear and listen to this episode, they will have a newfound respect for you.
Right.
So that's
Exactly.
another, nodule on your belt.
Right.
And
because you know what? Because a lot of people probably say, Joe Pro, what is he gonna talk about? Gonna think your whole thing gonna be about the movies, the girls shaking or whatever they're doing. And they're gonna think that's what it's all about. But then, oh yeah, they're not even gonna they're not even gonna know, like, what?
Right.
You're gonna blow them out the water.
So I know a lot of people that's listening and watching, they're gonna have a newfound respect for you too.
How you just gonna take my word, Miss Go Get It? I just said that.
Yeah, I know.
But anyway, so what was I about to tell you?
I don't know.
We asked right, exactly. We ask all of our guests. So you're no different. You are a celebrity. So, and you're on a celebrity show. So let's just keep it all out. Keep it funky.
Celebrity show.
But being that you are a guest on Wait Again Minute podcast, how has your time been here since you've been rocking out with us this last hour?
I mean, I've enjoyed y'all, man. I appreciate y'all having me here. I've had fun. All of y'all are cool. Y'all too funny as hell, man. It's just a good time all together.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
So again, he gave you guys all of his social media handles, and we'll actually tag them as well. So y'all run them up and look at him for the godfather that he is,
Not
and
godfather.
Yeah. I mean, I believe in giving people their flowers, like while they're here. I don't want you to lay flowers on me when I can no longer smell them.
Right.
So I try to do people the same way.
Right.
So, and when people come up here, we don't sit and bash and be disrespectful, but we do ask questions that most people may be afraid to ask. Because I'm like, yo, if you don't ask them, then you still gonna be slow by the end of the interview. So, no, I'm gonna ask.
Right.
That way you have have more information, and with more information, you can make a better informed decisions. Point blank, period.
Right.
So with that being said, we're gonna holler at you guys on the flip side. And this is the end of season 6, episode 205, with none other than DJ Joe Pro.
Appreciate y'all having me.
No problem.
All right.
Good night.
Good night.